This morning, a rare interview with a Texas trailblazer, former U.S. Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison, on her friend Kay Granger's big announcement, an option for peace in the Middle East, and the 2024 presidential election. 48 hours away right now from Election Day, Houston choosing a new mayor, East Texas replacing the expelled state rep Brian Slayton, and the entire state locking in property tax cuts. School vouchers are dead again. 2 days remain in the special legislative session, but Texas lawmakers say they are likely not leaving Austin. Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo on her depression, suicidal thoughts, and the breaking point that led this rising star to check in to an out-of-state facility. And Congressman Jake Ellzey on the checks that Congress is writing to Israel, where the money comes from, and one trait the new Speaker Mike Johnson has that is badly needed in Congress right now.
Inside Texas Politics with Jason Whiteley starts now.
Good Sunday morning. Let's begin here with the top political headlines in our state. The leader of the nation's largest bank has a warning right now for Texas lawmakers. Don't mess up the Texas miracle. Jamie Dimon is chair and CEO of JPMorgan Chase. He said Texas Republicans run the risk of undermining the state's business-friendly reputation. You know, it was 2 years ago when Texas Republicans passed laws that punish big banks like Chase if they do not work with gun companies in the fossil fuel industry. Well, Dimon said Chase does not boycott any company, but he said the bank does make calculated decisions based on risk. These are his most direct comments yet to Texas lawmakers. State Rep Craig Goldman launched a campaign for Congress. He is running to replace the retiring Congresswoman Kay Granger. Goldman is a Republican who represents Fort Worth. He says he will prioritize border security and taxpayers, among other things. There's already another Republican in this race named John O'Shea. You know, next Tuesday, we will likely know who the next mayor of Houston is going to be. State Senator John Whitmire leads Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee in the most recent poll for Tuesday's election. And Whitmire is spending gobs of cash for the top job at City Hall. He hopes to win this without a runoff. The Houston Chronicle says that Whitmire has spent more than $9 million so far, twice as much as any other candidate. We begin this morning, though, with that rare interview with a Texas trailblazer. She served in the United States Senate and the state legislature and as U.S. ambassador to NATO. Kay Bailey Hutchison remains watchful of what's happening politically in the U.S. and overseas. And we called her after her friend Kay Granger announced that she would not run for re-election to Congress. Senator, welcome back to the program here. Your former colleague, Congresswoman Kay Granger, has announced that she will not seek re-election. Both of you are trailblazers for Texas women in politics. What do you think her legacy is?
Oh, she has a great legacy, Jason. I was very disappointed that she decided to leave, but I do understand her life has been so dedicated for public service, and it's very tough right now. And her job is huge. As chairman of the Appropriations Committee, it's just a great responsibility, and you have to work 24/7 to try to get everybody's views to put into a place where you can then negotiate with the Senate. So I think she decided to just put all in for that responsibility and not have to also then campaign for re-election at the same time. And I respect and admire her, and we will all want to wish her well as she leaves a great, great life of public service.
In political circles, Senator, you two were known as the 2Ks out and about in Texas. Have you spoken to her since her announcement?
Well, I've emailed with her. I haven't spoken to her, but I did email with her several times in the last few weeks. And I knew that she was going through a very hard time when they were trying to select a speaker. And so we are in contact a lot, and if I go to Washington, I always see her. So I haven't talked to her since she made this decision, but I know what she has been thinking.
She was one of the 3 Republicans from Texas that voted against Jim Jordan for Speaker. It sounds like this was all weighing on her, huh?
Yes, she wanted to make sure that there was a speaker that was going to help move the appropriations bills, which is her first responsibility. And she knew that she had to have someone that would understand that there are Democrats who have a say in this and that you've got the Senate to deal with. And I think she was being very thoughtful about what kind of speaker we should have. And I don't know Mr. Johnson, so I can't speak about him, but I think that she was very much instrumental in guiding the conference in this direction.
Senator, as the former U.S. ambassador to NATO, I know you have your eyes on what's happening around the world. I want to ask you about Ukraine and Israel. Let's start with Israel first, since that's all in the headlines. What are you watching to happen next in this crisis?
The Palestinian people have had corrupt and incompetent government, and that has caused this turmoil to continue. And now I think if the Arabs will surround working with Israel to try to get a Palestinian state where they have a homeland with a government that can work with the other Arab states to build a homeland for the Palestinian people, that's the ultimate answer.
And Saudi Arabia is the country that is most likely to play a role in that?
Saudi Arabia is the key. Qatar and UAE have already worked toward a normalization with Israel. And I think Saudi coming in with its position in the Middle East, which is the strongest country, with the Iranian influence that is so detrimental to the rest of the Middle East and to Israel, I think Saudi can play a key role if they will step up and be supportive of the two-state solution, working with Israel, and then making sure that the other Arab countries that want to have a normalization and a regularization, which is most of them, to put that coalition together to support a new government in the Palestinian territory that would become their home state, I think is the role that Saudi could play.
Super Tuesday, 4 months away. I know you know Super Tuesday very well when Texas and a number of other Republican states vote in the presidential election. Do you plan to support anybody for president?
Yes, I hope I can support a Republican. I think that we have good candidates. I think it's time to have new candidates. I don't think Trump or Biden should be the nominees for President of the United States. I hope we have new choices, and I don't know yet where I will be, but there are a number of good candidates that are in the wings that I hope to be able to support one of those, and looking forward to having that kind of a contest.
Senator, we always appreciate the time and your insight. We miss you in politics, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jason.
The senator's entire interview on our YouTube page. But now let's go to Austin. State legislators made school safety a priority this legislative year after the Uvalde massacre. Lawmakers gave public schools $1.4 billion to improve security, but school districts say that's not nearly enough of what they need. Ian Mitra is the senior managing editor at the Texas Tribune. Ian, good morning to you. Will the governor and lawmakers respond to what districts want? And if so, how and when might that happen?
Yeah, and the districts are basically saying like the allotment is just not enough. It's not to fund the mandate that they've been given. And their concern also is that a lot of the basic allotment funding was kind of held up during the regular legislative session because of the fight over vouchers. And so what the hope is that as this debate over vouchers gets resolved, that's going to also include addressing kind of the funding formulas for students there that could help them kind of pay for these features as well as just general student support.
Yeah, indeed. So still a lot left to do there. I am back to you in just a moment. Thank you very much. Coming up next here, Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo on fighting depression, her breaking point, and whether politics contributed to it. Plus, Congressman Jake Ellzey says the new House Speaker, Mike Johnson, has one trait that will really help Congress right now. Inside Texas Politics, back in just a moment.
Hold on, I'm coming. You didn't tell me you were getting McDonald's.
Right now, buy a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles or a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles and get the second one for just $1.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So let's gear up for it with an SUV like the Ford Bronco Sport. It has a terrain management system with 5 standard GOAT modes, so you can go over any type of terrain. Plus, 4x4 capability is standard across the entire lineup. Be adventure ready with Ford Bronco Sport. Drive Bronco Sport with low 2.9% financing for 60 months plus $1,000 open bonus cash. See your best in Texas Ford dealer today. Ford, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys, Mavericks, and Stars.
We keep this love in a photograph. We made these memories for ourselves, where our eyes are never closing, our hearts are never broken, and time's forever frozen still. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped.
Right now, qualified lessees can lease a new 2024 Tundra Special Edition for $469 a month. Hurry in today. Toyota Trucks. Let's go places.
The home you've always dreamed of is a blue bag away. Shop new lower prices at IKEA.
For the first time ever, enjoy NFM's Free for All event. Get a free adjustable base, 2 free memory foam pillows, and a free sheet set with your qualifying mattress purchase. Like this Sealy Queen mattress, it's just $7.99. Plus, get the adjustable base, pillows, and sheets for free. Save time and money when you shop at NFM. Take advantage of express next-day delivery. 50-month financing is available on qualifying purchases. Shop our unbeatable selection at guaranteed low prices, only at NFM.
I can tell you how amazing Golden Chick is, but these folks say it better. And they're loving the new Buffalo Ranch Chicken Sandwich with that spicy buffalo sauce, creamy ranch, and melty cheese.
Buff, buff, buff my chicken, yeah.
Golden Chick. I don't think anybody can top that.
Welcome back to Inside Texas Politics. In Congress, House Republicans spent the last week debating how to spend money. Aid to Israel was up first. Congressman Jake Elsey took our questions on where that money should come from and more. He is a Republican whose district stretches from Waxahachie over to Palestine. Congressman, welcome back to the program here. The House is back at work. New Speaker Mike Johnson asked Congress for $14.5 billion for Israel, but he wanted that money to come out of another place in the budget. What do you think about that?
I think that's the correct way to go about this. This stuff needs to be paid for, and there's $300 billion that's been set aside since COVID that needs to be drawn from to pay for this. It's been sitting there for a long time.
So COVID money would pay for Israel rather than some other cut?
300. There's various funds that it's coming from, but there's $300 billion that has been sitting in an account waiting to be spent, and I think that this is the perfect place to come take it out of. Additionally, it's going to replenish our stocks that we are sending over there. We're sending Iron Dome to Israel. Our best friend in the Middle East needs to be taken care of, and unfortunately we lost 3 weeks looking for a new speaker. So it's time to act.
November 17th, when the government runs out of money, Speaker Johnson said he doesn't like stopgaps or band-aids or continuing resolutions. What's going to happen? Because that clock is ticking right now.
Clock's ticking. We are going to pass 3 appropriations bills, transportation, housing, urban development, interior, and the legislative branch, which funds Congress this week. And of course, for some time now, we've talked about spending bills that might go through January 15th or April 15th. As he just took over this last week, we're going to have to flesh that out and see how long those short-term spending bills last. But we're on the job trying to pass these appropriations bills and then send them over to the Senate, so we don't get jammed by the Senate. Remember, the Senate's priorities and the administration's priorities are different than those of the House, and all spending bills start in the House. So we're going to pick that ball up and pass those starting this week.
Do you expect the government will shut down November 17th?
I do not.
Congressman, House Republicans have finally united around Mike Johnson for Speaker. I'm curious, how united is the party right now, several days after Mike Johnson has taken the gavel?
All members of the Republican conference present voted for Mike Johnson. As this process was playing itself out, sometimes the word chaos was used. Remember, 8 people on the Republican side joined with all 208 Democrats to catch the car. When they caught the car, they bit the driver and didn't have anywhere else to go while the house was on fire. So they left us with no plan B. So it's remarkable that in 3 short weeks, relatively, we found somebody unanimously on the Republican side who lowers the temperature in the room. He is a concerted conservative. He's a good man, and everybody has a great deal of respect for Mike Johnson. And as I said before, he brings the temperature down. And he's a very smart guy. He knows the Constitution forward and backward. And he's the right guy for these very tense times to lower the temperature in the room and move us forward.
You're one of 3 Republicans who voted against Jim Jordan. You said he wasn't the right person for the Speaker's job. Do you think that will impact you in re-election in March, 4.5 months from now?
It might not. I think that people are starting to come to the realization that Mike Johnson is the right guy for the job, and I was very proud to vote for him. And so I think that'll work itself out as we go along. If he's an effective speaker and people believe that we were right on picking him, then I think that'll work itself out. But I understand most people are very upset in a time of high inflation, a border that's wide open, worldwide conflict emerging all over the place, and we're not able to get our jobs done. There was understandable anger that we just didn't get somebody. But as I've often said, you have to get the right man, not a man right now.
All right, Congressman, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you very much, Jason. Good to see you.
Now to a courageous interview with Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo. She's back at work right now after treatment for depression. Judge Hidalgo now wants Texans to know what she faced in hopes it might help someone else. Here's part of what Hidalgo revealed in a brand new episode of Y'all-itics.
As I mentioned just before we started recording here, I think there are a lot of folks out there who probably struggle with this, whether it's a loved one, whether it's themselves, wondering, am I just stressed out? Is something more? I'm just curious how you got to that point where you said, okay, listen, this is more than I can handle on my own. I need to find somebody to help me out with this.
A lot of it was just the suicidality. You know, I had felt suicidal for a long time, at this point, 8 years, but especially this year, that first half of this year, it got to a point where it was just so scary. You know, I just felt like if I didn't do something, I was afraid I was going to jump off the balcony. And I'd already been to a psychiatrist. I'd seen a therapist for the better part of 5 years. The psychiatrist I started seeing last summer, so you know, about a year before I went to seek treatment, and I got very lucky that I mean lucky in a way. I went on a bike ride, I got dehydrated, I went to see my primary care physician for that, and he asked me, how are you? And I just immediately started crying, and he figured out what was going on, and he put me in touch with a different psychiatrist, who's, you know, 2 days later had me on a plane to Cincinnati for an inpatient treatment center.
You know, what would you say to people who say, well, you know, maybe don't take on this busy job, maybe walk away from this really busy, stressful job that includes a lot of political attacks and fights all the time and so forth? What do you say to people who suggest that sort of thing?
Well, it's a mistake to take away that the job was the cause, because if you do that, then suddenly it doesn't apply to you or everybody else. And look, for me, for someone that has my issue, if I hadn't taken this job, I would have decided to take some other, you know, job. I say if I decided to go plant trees, I would have put it on myself to plant 1 million. I mean, I've always been this way my whole life, for as long as I or my parents can remember. And so that's why it's genetic, right? And then it's about your ability to regulate your emotions, and that's why therapy helps. And so you know, of course, having a stressful job doesn't help, but you don't have to have a stressful job in order to be depressed.
Judge Hidalgo's first raw, unedited interview is on Y'all-itics, available to download this morning wherever you get your podcast, or you can watch her entire interview if you search for Y'all-itics on YouTube. When we come back here this morning on this program, though, acrimony in Austin. What in the world is going on at the state legislature? More importantly, why? The roundtable is ready when we come back.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We do the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $200 at Walmart, over $300 at LensCrafters, and over $200 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So let's gear up for it with an SUV like the Ford Bronco Sport. It has a terrain management system with 5 standard GOAT modes, so you can go over any type of terrain. Plus, 4x4 capability is standard across the entire lineup. Be adventure ready with Ford Bronco Sport. Drive Bronco Sport with low 2.9% financing for 60 months plus $1,000 open bonus cash. See your best in Texas Ford dealer today. Ford, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys, Mavericks, and Stars.
Title Max got your money, your real money.
Get started at TitleMax.com and turn your title into real money.
I got $2,500 with TitleMax.com.
Most credit types accepted.
I got $8,700 from TitleMax.com.
All makes and models welcome. Visit TitleMax.com today to find out how much you can get and get your title back with TitleMax.
I got my title back with TitleMax.
Get your title back with TitleMax.
Company cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, and fleet vehicles are involved in thousands of accidents every year. If you were hurt in a company vehicle accident, we make it as simple as 1, 2, 3. 1. Contact Thomas J. Henry. 2. Our attorneys will come to you day or night. 3. We will handle everything while you focus on healing. Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Call today. Thomas J. Henry is available 24/7, nights and weekends.
Ugh, this rental car is so boring to drive.
Let's be honest, the rent-a-car industry is the definition of boring. And the reason can be found in the name itself. Rent a car? You don't want a vacation. You want the vacation. You don't want a job. You want the job. The is always over a. That's why we don't offer a car. We offer the car. The cars you love for the prices you'll love even more. Sixt, rent the car.
Shop more, save more during NFM's Veterans Day sale. Enjoy 50% off suggested retail on furniture, carpet, and area rugs. Get 10% off the current price on hard surface flooring. Instantly save up to $1,000 on qualifying major appliance purchases. Discover amazing deals on electronics. And get 30-month financing on furniture, flooring, select appliances, TVs, and audio. Our huge in-stock selection has something for everyone. Shop the Veterans Day sale. Plus, visit NFM for your chance to win a Tesla Model Y.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We do the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $200 at Walmart, over $300 at LensCrafters, and over $200 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
All right, time now for Reporters Roundtable to put the headlines in perspective. I am Mitra, back with us from the Texas Tribune in Austin. Bud Kennedy is here from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Bernadine Steptoe, of course, political producer at WFAA in Dallas. Let's start with you. School vouchers appear dead. Republicans cannot agree on the border bill that the House passed. The governor is out of the country. Is anything getting done? Will anything get done in this 30-day special session?
No, I mean, it looks like legislators are already kind of looking to a next special session. The House Public Ed Chairman Brad Buckley is already kind of floating a new House Bill 1 on vouchers that's got more, a little bit different to it, raising the basic allotment and education funding, as well as some more accountability measures when it comes to education savings accounts. So they're already looking forward to the next debate in a future session. In a future session, likely pretty soon. But Republicans have the governorship, they have the Senate, they have the House. What's going on?
Well, Jason, we're exactly where we said we were going to be in January. The House doesn't want to pass vouchers. They also don't want to be pushed around this year by Dan Patrick. The Speaker feel it was a rookie last time. They felt like Dan Patrick ran over him. They were going to put a stop to it this time. He's a very effective communicator. He's a conservative talk show host. The Senate's scared of him. The House is not.
And there's no reason, Bernadine, for the House to give in, is there?
Absolutely not, because they are together on what they want. But you know what? It reminds me of what some define insanity, trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, because Governor Abbott did the same thing that he's doing now during the regular session as well as the last two special sessions, saying it's my way or no way, and it just isn't working. And the lieutenant governor's being a bully isn't working. They're going to have to do something, sit down and come to some kind of compromise.
And Bud, vouchers are the governor's priority, but he's out of the country instead of being here in Austin negotiating a deal on this.
And he has sounded like he would accept something along the lines. You know, he added more funding to the call, so he's willing to accept something like what the House has put forth. Let's see if that is able to get anywhere near the Senate chamber.
Ian, let's talk about a trial date, criminal trial date finally set for the Attorney General, Ken Paxton. This relates to his securities fraud charges from 8 years ago. He could go to prison if convicted on this. Are these charges that he can beat?
I mean, this is, again, we also look back to his impeachment trial, and we have to separate the politics from the actual legal trial here. And so this is a legal trial. And so, you know, we forget about this. This has been 8 years in the works now because of battles over venue, over lawyers' fees. And so these are serious charges. And so sure enough, you know, that's something that he's going to have to face here, you know, in the next couple of months.
And Bernadine, yeah, the stakes are really high in this for him.
Well, yes, and he's not going to be able to depend on his friends and allies to pull him through, because it is a legal trial, and he's going to have to depend upon the evidence. And you know what? His attorneys are still fighting over attorney fees. So I think that he understands that this is more about what's legal and not what's political.
Yeah, and Bud, these are felony charges. The trial is in April. What will you be watching for?
Well, this is something that one of the reasons it's been dragged out so long is because some of the elements are there for a conviction. You know, the question is what's going to be brought forth and what other elements are going to be brought forth. You know, gosh, there was a Republican representative who was one of the victims in this, and Paxton has already acknowledged some of this in the civil case. You know, I just think it's going to be a trial that the big thing about it is that it comes in the middle. He's going to be able to fully campaign in the March primary, but then the trial comes in between the primary and the runoff.
Yeah, indeed so. All right. Ian, Bud, Bernadine, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate the insight as always, so thank you very much for your time this morning. We always appreciate you watching as well. We're back next Sunday to take you inside Texas politics and hope you can join us then. Take care.